From my point of view, everything is about science. I'm not one of these fluffy people who has good luck charms or, believes that the bike is something I should be sleeping with under my bed for good luck. It's a tool. It might change every year depending on, sponsorship, the type of materials that are available. I don't have a lucky set of handlebars. The kind of arty side of life doesn't really enter into my world. Everything's very structured, and that's the beauty of sport, is that I think the more structured and organised you are, the more likely you are to succeed. Psychological training is a huge part of any sport, and everyone has a different approach. For me, it's something that you practice all of the time. Whenever you're training, you're practicing the ability to think correctly within that training session. Thinking correctly under pressure is something Sir Clive Woodward talked about with his success in the 2003 World Cup in rugby. And that blinkered approach, you need it. You might have an empty stadium, but your job is still the same. You might have a stadium like we enjoyed here at the London 2012 Games, which absolutely rammed to the rafters, and you have to be able to form whatever your situation happens to be on that race day. And as often happens in cycling, you could end up in a completely lone place, a lone breakaway, just a race radio and your team director to talk to, and you have to be able to stay focused and in that particular race and know what your goals are and know how to cope with that. It doesn't matter how many bike computers you've got within your team, you still have to be able to react to whatever another team might throw at you. So arts technology helps, and it allows us to understand the data and process that afterwards. You can't completely switch off the idea that you have to have those instincts, but equally you still have to take the scientific approach and think correctly under pressure. If you have too many other flannelly parts to things and it gets too overly emotional when it shouldn't, I think those things can be quite distracting. And I think over the course of a long breakaway, a couple of hours away on your own, you go through all sorts of emotions, but you're focusing on the things that you can control. Being on the limit, being on that red line of what you're capable of doing for that length of time, the time in many ways passes quite quickly because you're focused so much on making sure that you stay on that red line, and the people that are chasing you down, you're almost visualising it, and that helps you to stay away. The emotion is there. That's what drove you on to consider this breakaway in the first place, being opportunistic. But it all has to be calculated at the same time as people are obviously shouting at you from cars and their emotions. You can't allow them to penetrate your thoughts, because the minute that you come off and out of that bubble of focus, and that can be when you end up getting chased down. The secrets of success, and certainly longevity in sport, is that you can just be very directed and very clinical about how you attack a race, and that way the emotion comes after, and it's definitely that's the time to be serious and focus on the job in hand, and that's the time to party. And obviously I used to be a swimmer, so I was very good at partying.